and we are here breaking down the brackets for Division I non-select baseball. Because, folks, playoff time is here, and we're excited about that. Coach Forbes, thank you for making time for this special show edition of the Mike Forbes Show.
Yeah, man, let's have some fun with it today.
All right, Coach, we're going to be looking. I know you're busy, so we're going to try to go as quick as we can. Of course, take as long as you want, say what you want, because this is the Mike Forbes Show. But Coach, we're going to be looking at the Division I non-select bracket, and just get walk through it and just share your any expertise you have on any of it or anything you want to say about it. Just That's why we're here. We're trying to get this Wildcat Nation ready for some playoff baseball.
Well, we can go into some detail about a lot of things, man. A lot of interesting matchups that I've seen so far. Uh, a lot of possibilities, few possibilities of some first round upsets in there. Um, you know, and so let's dive right into it. I want to start talking about us. You know, want to start talking about and the draw that we have, and we're sitting at a 7 seed on the same side as the 2 seed in Sam Houston. The winner out of two district opponents, Prairieville and Live Oak. Two opponents who we split with this year. So anything whenever we face those two guys, whoever it's going to be. So we're gonna have to be on our game. We're gonna have to do the things that we do that make us successful, and that's play clean baseball. So second round matchup with a district opponent should draw a big time crowd. We're hoping to get as many people here next week with whoever we play. But how cool would it be for either one of them? But to say that we got two opponents who's about 5 miles away from one another,
Right.
matching up in the second round, that would be pretty cool right there as well. So, um, but the Wildcats will be ready for sure. And if we're fortunate enough to play well next week and move on, chances are that you'll end up playing the 2 seed at their place in the quarterfinals. That's Sam Houston. Um, Most Wildcat baseball fans will remember Sam Houston put us out in the second round of the playoffs the year before I got the job. That would be what, 2024, I believe it was.
Right.
So that would be a good opportunity for us to go over there and um, prove how much better we've gotten as a program. A whole lot better as a program as well. They've won a state title last year, and they're looking prime to make another run at it as well, with a lot of talent and a lot of young talent coming in there as well. So, but that's not to discount anybody who they may face as well. So that's our side of the bracket, and so that's our path to the quarterfinals, path to the semifinals, possibly. Um, Looking at the bracket that we may end up matching up with if we're lucky enough to get to the semifinals. That's the gauntlet of a bracket right there in that side, where you got West Monroe, you got Destrehan playing Fountain Blue, which could go either way. You got Central playing Sanama, so it's that bracket right there is going to be very, very tough, and any one of those teams can get through that and get to the semifinals. Um, like I said, West Monroe with the 3 seed. They've done a good job this year, but the two matchups that are very intriguing in that bracket is Fountain Blue and Destrehan. Series with Fountain Blue here earlier this year, and if it clicks for them, man, they're going to be a very tough 19 seed that can make a run, because them boys are very, very good. They're very, very young, uh, and if it clicks and they find a way to win a few games, they're going to be very hard to beat for sure. And obviously, Destrehan has a great team as well. Coach Muir always does a great job. having his guys prepared. And then, two traditional powerhouses, 90s, Central and Panama hooking up for a 3-game
Yeah.
series. That can go either way, and you got a first year coach in Coach Rica who did a great job and got his guys into the playoffs, and you got Central. You got Coach Carroll at the helm now who has a lot of playoff experience. So it's one of those things where shoot, they can make a run through that side of the bracket very easily. Um, uh, on the other side, you look at the 1 seed, and they're pretty much, we've said it pretty much all year. It's Barb and everybody else. 24 a good bit, but there's one spot that has not fluctuated, and that's the number one. They've only lost 1 game. Barb's only lost 1 game all season, and that was to an out-of-state opponent. They have not lost to a Louisiana-based team, and they got players all through their lineup that do a great job, and they've always played at a high level. So on that side of the bracket, you're going to Barb to get to Sulphur, and that's no easy task. Um, couple matchups that I see that could be very interesting. Mandeville and Airline, the 16 and the 17 game to be able to go play Barb in the second round. Mandeville has loads of talent, and if anybody has a shot, I think Mandeville in that top part of that bracket has a real shot at upsetting Barb. They got a couple great pitchers. They got a very good lineup that can do some damage as well. So I wouldn't sleep on Mandeville for sure. They have a very good a very good team. And in Dutchtown, you can't Dutchtown got the 8 seed, and they got that bye and through bar, but they were a top 5 team all year. So they get back into their rhythm. They get back into doing the things that they do. That's another team that could be very difficult. Um, on the bottom side of that bracket, Hanville and Zachary are going to be an interesting matchup. We've played both of them, and both of them had great years. Hanville has, they've won so many games in a row. It seems like they beat us in the second game of the year, a close ball game. Um, so that matchup, the 4 and the 5 matchup between Zachary and Hanville in the quarterfinals, would be very interesting to watch. But you can't count out North Shore at the 12 seed. North Shore knocked us out last year,
Yeah.
and they got a true ace on their staff that when he's pitching, he has an opportunity to win the game. So that North Shore Hanville second round game could be interesting. And then you got a possible second round matchup with either Ruston or New Iberia and Zachary. Uh, New Iberia plays in the same district as Barb and Sam Houston, so they're battle tested. They've gone through that district and won some games. And then Ruston, we were able to play them. They have a quality team, and they're well coached as well. So lots of fun, man. Lots of fun matchups that we're going to see, and some local matchups as well. Starting this week with Central Santa Maria, and then next week with us and the winner of Live Oak and Prairieville. So should be fun in the Baton Rouge area for sure.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, one thing that you may not know at this point in time, but we know that our opponent, the winner of the uh, Prairie View, Prairieville, and Live Oak, they play this weekend. They'll begin tomorrow night at 6 p.m. and then they have, if the second game will be at noon on Saturday. Then if the third, it will follow.
Yep.
And things have to shake. First of all, we don't know who we play it, but we do know we're playing. Do we have any idea of the dates and the times that we may host
for the following
for
week.
the following week.
That's not set yet.
Right.
We would have to wait to see who we would match up with because both coaches have to agree to it. But I would hope that it would be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're local, we're close. Try not to play two games in one day if you
Yeah,
don't
a
have to.
true three game,
Yeah.
three game.
So I'm going to try to shoot for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday if possible.
Good deal, Coach. Give us a little snapshot. 7 days at least
Yeah.
before we will play in the tournament. What goes on between now and then? How do you keep the guys sharp? How do you keep them ready to roll?
Well, we were really wanting this by for a couple different reasons. To give us the opportunity to host in the second round. It's something that hasn't happened in a few years, and we wanted to give ourselves the best opportunity in that second round. And hosting, we felt like was a good advantage for us. But we were a little beat up. We felt like we needed some time off. We needed a break for our arms to be able to relax a little bit and be ready for a big time second round series. So my every coach is different. Some coaches like to make sure that they grind through it and keep their guys active. And I guess my approach is, we're going to have a few days. Yesterday we had a full practice, a install practice of, hey, let's get everything covered that we want to get covered, things that might come up in a playoff series, and some other new things that we may want to put in. Um, we have a scrimmage today, a little tune-up scrimmage against Eunice. They're coming in. We got them at 5 o'clock today for a 7 inning ball game. We'll have a inter squad tomorrow to simulate the back-to-back. We will play back-to-back days and simulate that with our guys. And then you don't want to underestimate the value of off days.
Right.
So to give our guys the opportunity to kind of get away from it for a little bit, we'll probably go early on Saturday, real light, and I'll give them Sunday and Monday off. Not do anything, and then come back and get after it on Tuesday, Wednesday in preparation for that series. So some coaches are different. I think we're leaning more towards you know, let's give them some off time. Let's give them an opportunity to and get back to full strength.
Well, Coach, I have complete confidence in you and your the way that you do things because if I remember correctly, when you were coaching this other Wildcats from across the river, speaking of back to back, you did go back to back with 5A state championships for Central High School. So I have plenty of confidence you know exactly what you're doing, and so we're just excited about playoffs and the Walker Wildcats.
It's a little different. Playoff picture is a little bit the run through the playoffs is a little bit different than what it was in 2017 and 2018. So it is a little bit different as far as how much you're playing and how many games you have, and with all the series and stuff. But you know, that's what we do as coaches. We make adjustments and we find the best way for our team to have success. So we have that plan in place, and we'll go from there.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time, and as you just mentioned, y'all are going to have a scrimmage against Eunice
Eunice.
at 5 p.m. here.
Yep. Free
So,
admission.
free
Anybody wants to
admission.
come?
Come on, free admission. Come on, and I guess the concession stand will it
Oh
be
yeah.
open? All your concession
Oh yeah.
stands open, and if it's not, just slip your money through the crack there. But Coach, we're gonna, as I said, I appreciate your time spending it with us to talk about breaking down this bracket. Creek don't rise, Lord will. Well, it just don't matter if the creek rises because if the Lord's willing. We're gonna be back Monday at 1 o'clock with the weekly Mike Forbes show.
Yep.
I want to apologize to our listeners. I've been out of the state and then in the state of vertigo for the last 2 weeks. So, but we'll be back, and maybe by Monday we'll have a little bit clearer picture on when we'll play we'll definitely know who we play in it, and then we'll try to relay that. But we've got to catch up on some players of the week and different things of that nature. But Coach, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and the Wildcat Nation. And Coach, today, like every other day,
It's a great day to be a Wildcat.
go Cats!